Involved in nonprofit organizations, whether you're a donor, volunteer, or board member. We're reviewing the 990 tax form for New Directions for Youth, a nonprofit serving at-risk youth. Dr. Zohar Vaisman's professional history raises numerous legal and ethical concerns, especially in relation to his treatment of vulnerable. Public record includes racial and sexual orientation-based attacks, further displaying a pattern of bigotry. In addition to his hateful speech, Dr.
The content in this video is protected by the Copyright Act of 1976. The intention of this video is to report and criticize the posts, claims, videos, and content posted by Dr. Zohar Vaisman, of which may be perceived as shocking. But it is necessary to discuss for educational and documentary purposes.
Breaking cyberbullying and harassment laws, California Penal Code 653.2, over and over and over. You have been weaponizing your YouTube channel against me for months. I was forced to delete my channel. I was forced to delete my book. After months of cyberbullying and harassment from these two people. Enough was enough. This is the story of veterans turned villains. You've seen and heard all the lies. Now it's time for the truth.
Dr. Zohar Vaisman's professional history raises numerous legal and ethical concerns, especially in relation to his treatment of vulnerable patients. Vaisman's behavior extends far beyond practice. He has leaked sensitive information about his employees.
I'm going to show you a picture I took a picture of my therapist today. Some other therapist that I intern. This is going to be, when you see the picture, you'll know why I'm so wound up in my videos. Because I can't fuck these people, they're my workers.
And there is audio of him making discriminatory statements, including refusing to hire individuals who use pronouns in their resumes.
Resume, like sometimes I have to hire interns, right? Therapists. Whenever I get a resume and it says he, she, or him, her, he, him, her, whatever the fuck it is, I'm like, okay, next.
He has also made vulgar remarks about his boss.
Fucking boss fucking called me while I'm fucking chatting. See how late I am? Like, just messaged me while I was talking. Fuck, I hate her.
And expressing a desire to find his workplace on fire upon arrival.
Fuck, I hope when I turn that fucking corner on Lancashire Boulevard, that fucking building is on fire. I hate my job. I can't even tell you how much I hate my job.
He might be projecting his own hostile feelings onto them.
His public record includes racial and sexual orientation-based attacks, further displaying a pattern of bigotry.
Make the song more racist.
Also from the middle of nowhere.
Song more racist.
This video unpacks the gravity of Dr. Vaisman's actions, the systemic failures that allowed them, and the potential legal consequences of his harmful and unethical behavior. The failure of New Directions for Youth, NDY, and their HR department to respond to serious allegations about Dr. Zohar Vaisman, including his unethical behavior, predatory tendencies, and improper licensure status, raises critical concerns about the organization's responsibility and potential legal consequences.
Jade, listen to me. You gotta show your tits, okay? You gotta show your tits. In fact, you gotta show everything. You gotta be completely fucking nude on every fucking live stream. Just completely nude. Okay? And that's the only way that you could beat Corner Kid's wife. You have to be completely nude, and then she has to be, and then she's gonna one-up you, and she's probably gonna have a video where she's actually fucking him, so then you have to fuck somebody. Okay? You gotta beat her. You gotta beat her.
You ever heard of my racist samurai impression? Because I was gonna do a review in my samurai voice, like the entire video, but I thought that would probably be racist. They'll be like, in today's review,
Dr. Vaisman's comments to female content creators, such as telling them, you have to show your tits, and you have to fuck someone to be successful on YouTube, would likely be considered sexual harassment. With all of this information in mind, it begs the question, what else is NDY hiding, allowing, or getting away with? Perhaps we should follow the money. The 990 tax form for New Directions for Youth, a nonprofit serving at-risk youth in Los Angeles. And while this organization does some great work, there are several red flags in their 990 filing that we need to talk about. First up, we need to talk about compensation. On the surface, the executive director, Monica Austin Jackson, reported a salary of $87,010, but something's off. The rest of the board members, key employees, and officers, 23 in total, report zero compensation. Now, this isn't uncommon for nonprofit boards, but the lack of transparency about potential bonuses, benefits, or other forms of compensation raises some concerns. Are these figures truly reflective of what's going on behind the scenes? It begs the question, are all forms of compensation being reported? Because if not, the integrity of this filing could be in doubt. Let's move on to the second red flag, no independent contractors listed. This nonprofit reported over $2.7 million in expenses, but there are no details on any independent contractors being paid more than $100,000. Is it possible that a nonprofit of this size didn't hire outside help? Highly unlikely. In fact, many nonprofits rely on contractors for everything from fundraising to legal services. The lack of detail raises suspicions. Are their contractors being paid under the radar, or has this just been poorly reported? Now, let's dive into the numbers a little more. One glaring issue is the sharp drop in receivables, from $582,000 at the start of the year down to $417,000 at year-end. And yet there's no clear explanation for this in the form. If these receivables were collected, where's that revenue? If they were written off as bad debt, why isn't that reflected in the expenses? Even more alarming, the organization reported only $2,110 in cash on hand at the end of the year. That's shockingly low for an organization of this size. Is the nonprofit struggling financially, or is this another oversight in reporting? Here's a big one. No independent audit. Despite having over $3 million in revenue, New Directions for Youth did not conduct an external audit. This raises a major red flag in terms of financial oversight. Typically, any organization handling this much money would have an audit done for transparency and accountability. The fact that they didn't, that's a concern for anyone thinking about donating or volunteering. Another issue in this form involves a loan. The nonprofit reports an outstanding loan of $4,450 to an officer, director, or key employee. This could signal a conflict of interest and even raise questions about whether it was properly disclosed and justified. Nonprofits must be above board when it comes to transactions involving leadership, and this loan might indicate poor financial oversight. Have they put the organization's best interests first, or is there room for concern?